The storm came out of nowhere. Ethan had been driving for hours, searching for shelter. That's when he saw it, a town that wasn't on any map. The sign read, Black Hollow. It looked abandoned, but the lights in the distance told a different story. An old man greeted him with a smile. "You shouldn't be out in this weather," he said. His eyes glowed faintly in the dark. The town square was alive with people. They smiled, but their eyes were wrong. The innkeeper offered him a room. "Stay the night," she said. "You'll be safe here." But Ethan wasn't so sure. The room felt wrong. The walls seemed to breathe, and shadows moved outside his window. The whispers started softly, growing louder. Join us," they said. You'll never leave." The mirror showed his reflection, but it wasn't him. It smiled, a smile full of teeth. He ran. The townsfolk were no longer human. Their eyes burned like fire, and their smiles stretched too wide. The forest was no escape. The eyes followed him, whispering, "You'll never leave." The alley narrowed, and the townsfolk closed in. Their laughter echoed, sharp and inhuman. Ethan's heart pounded. He had to find a way out. At the end of the alley stood an old church. Its doors creaked open, as if inviting him in. But the light inside was not holy. It was blood red. The altar pulsed with an unnatural energy. The symbols carved into it seemed to move, twisting and writhing like living things. He found a journal on the altar. Its pages told the truth. The town was cursed, its residents bound to feed on the living, to sustain their unnatural existence. The townsfolk entered the church, chanting in a language that made his ears bleed. The symbols on the floor glowed brighter. They were preparing the ritual. They grabbed him, their grip like iron. "You will join us," they hissed. Ethan fought, but their strength was inhuman. With a desperate kick, he knocked over a candle. Flames spread across the altar, and the townsfolk recoiled, their screams piercing the night. The church burned, and with it, the curse began to break. The townsfolk writhed and screamed as the flames consumed them. Ethan ran into the forest, the town's glow fading behind him. For the first time, the whispers stopped. He was free, or so he thought. Back in his car, Ethan caught his reflection in the rearview mirror. His eyes glowed faintly. The curse wasn't broken. It had only found a new host.